here on IceTime.TV with Cardiff Devils man of the match, Luke Piggott, who scored a goal tonight and generally just worked hard as ever. And Luke, it's been, I guess, kind of interesting season for you. You maybe started the season on the bench in an associate coach role, back in the roster now, bringing your brand of energy. What's the transition been like for you?
Yeah, it's been different. It's obviously a different perspective being at the back of the bench and seeing the game from above. But I think it's quite nice to see the whole game from that perspective and then try and apply that back on the ice at the same time. So it's definitely been an eye-opener for certain things. But yeah, it's not been too difficult to get back into it. Obviously, me and Lordo practice regularly with all the guys in a normal situation, just to make sure that if we have to go, that we're ready to go. And yeah, so just making sure I'm doing those extra little bits in practice to make sure I'm ready to go when it's time in a game.
Take us back to the summer, because, you know, us fans, we like to play hockey fantasy camp and sign our team, and players are expendable. We really want them back. For you, this is your career, and the under-23 rule came in. And what were your thoughts on that? And did you think maybe that was going to curtail you a little bit?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's great that the Elite League are doing things to try and encourage young player development. And I think you can already see some of the benefits of that in Craig Moore's play and him coming through into the team. And I think he'll flourish under Lordo's guidance and everything. Of course, it means it's bad news for guys like me who have been around for a long time, and I'm competing with 5 guys who play in the GB national team, of course, to try and get a spot on the team. But you know, there was never any chance I was going to play for any other Elite League team. I always wanted to be a part of this organization and help this organization win in whatever way that can be. And in this situation, it was a case of, well, if I step back onto the bench, I can have, you know, still have a big influence on maybe winning some more silverware this year. So that was definitely a role that I was up for. And me and Lordo have a good relationship, and we talk a lot anyway. Throughout the years, we've always had a good relationship for on-ice stuff anyway, so we work together well. It seemed like a natural transition. I'm not sure I completely agree with upping the level of the under-23s directly to 3 players. My personal view is that we should be increasing it each year to try and have that view in mind, bringing players up so we can bring them into the squad, give them a couple of years to develop, ready to go straight into the squad. But then, of course, you see guys like Tom Rutkiss, who came on the ice today, and he didn't struggle one bit, did he? I mean, he looked like a seasoned Elite League player out there tonight. And you know, you got to give credit to these guys who can step up those levels and compete straight away. And I think Rutkiss is a great example of how that is benefiting the league for sure.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your role a little bit, because maybe sometimes we undersell it in commentary. We always talk about Luke Piggott comes on, he brings energy, goes in, finishes his hit, make sure the puck doesn't get turned over. You know, is it as simple as that? Are we doing you a disservice? What does Lordo ask you to go and do out there as, I guess, a 3rd, 4th line energy guy?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a big part of the role. It's not a sexy role, if you like. You don't certainly get the attention or the plaudits that certain guys would. You know, your Joey Martins, your Sean Bentavolios, who are out there, you know, primarily to score goals, and that's their role. And of course, it's my job to go out there, be gritty, finish my every hit, chip pucks into the corner, make sure I'm defensively solid. That's primarily my role, but Lordo's very good at giving you a little bit more freedom than perhaps the average coach would as a 3rd, 4th liner, whereby if you've got the time and you can make plays to go ahead and do that, of course being sensible at the same time, limit your turnovers, make sure you're making smart plays. But yeah, I mean, he wants us to push ourselves, he wants us to try and create goals, but you know, primarily, of course, it is that energy role and making sure we're solid defensively. A 0 night is usually a good night for us, you know.
Now, Andrew Lord speaks very, very highly of you and thinks you've got huge potential as a coach. We all know about your fantastic work in your day job off the ice. Is coaching something that interests you? Would you like to pursue it, or is there, you know, maybe a cap on it in terms of it sort of taking over your life a little bit compared to what else you're doing? What are your thoughts on maybe the next stage of your career?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got thrown into the coaching side of things, as you said, by the under-23 role, but I've really enjoyed it. And to be honest with you, at the end of the last injury stint where Richie had his problem, and then he was back healthy and I had to go back onto the bench, I didn't, as much as I was enjoying playing, I wasn't devastated that I had to go back onto the bench, because I do enjoy that aspect in a different way, of course. But it's definitely something that I've been surprised at how much I've enjoyed being a part of. But, you know, this organization as a whole is just ingrained in me at this point. I've been around for so long now. that I just want to be a part of it and try and help this team win in whatever possible way I can. And if they still feel I can do that from behind the bench in the future, whenever my playing career may come to an end, then I'd absolutely be, open to pursuing that, of course. Anything I can do to help Lordo as well, take a bit of stress, because he likes to have everything. He likes to focus on all the tiny details, and anything else that I can take away from him that he's happy to give me to lighten his load, then absolutely I'll do what I can to help him in that manner as well.
The only thing he doesn't like doing is coming out for an interview on time. But just finally, Luke, you've been in the Devils locker room for a long time. You were in it last year when this was a title-winning club. Of course, there's a second half of the season to go. There's a long way to go. But the guys seem in a groove right now. Does it feel like a good place to be? And is that air of confidence, is that a little bit of a swagger that comes with being champions and maybe top of the league at Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of pressure on us this year to achieve what we achieved last year. But, we have those high expectations of ourselves at the same time. We don't come in at the beginning of the season and say to ourselves, look, we're looking for a top 4 finish here, there. We want to win every trophy. So the expectations of the fans are the expectations that we put upon ourselves at the same time as well. I think that we all want to play to that level anyway. So I feel we're really in a groove right now. The last couple of days especially, it's been a great feeling around the locker room. Every guy's been going. There's an air of confidence. Even yesterday when we were in a bit of a battle in a tough arena, a long travel day, all those sorts of things, it didn't seem to hit any of the guys at all. The attitude in the dressing room was unbelievable. Same thing tonight. Every guy came in. Again, we had to travel this morning. Everyone just seemed confident and ready to go. And I feel like if we can carry that through this Christmas period, it's going to, put us in a good spot for the rest of the season going in. We've definitely got that winning mentality in this group. And I think that is something that you're going to see come out over the next few months as we get into sort of the nitty-gritty part of the season where we need to pull out some big results to really drive through to get to those pieces of silverware. And I think you're going to see that from this group, yeah. That's
great to hear. Back in the locker room now to teach Lane Olmer some more Welsh?
Yeah. It's the rolling of the tongue that they struggle with a little bit. Of course, I have been here for a long time and I've picked up bits and pieces. I'm not a fluent Welsh speaker by any means, but of course I've actually been taking some online courses over the last few years, so I picked up obviously as much as I can. His patience with the Welsh language perhaps doesn't bode well for me teaching him much more, I don't think.
We'll leave him just to exercise his skills on the ice rink. But Luke, on behalf of everyone, happy Christmas and well played tonight.
Thank you very much. Yeah.